I'm a big fan of FPS games. They make you feel like a badass, firing both realistic or sci-fi weapons against pretty much anything that wants you dead. In those rare times I play online shooters, I'm more of a run and gun fan, preferring assault rifles and shotguns to sniper rifles. But in single player games, I don't mind picking up the sniper rifle for a bit of stealthy, long-range action. Some games that focus primarily on sniper mechanics can be the most fun. Being able to sneak around, knock people down without them being any wiser, it can be so satisfying to take out an entire camp without an alarm going off. But then there's games like Sniper Art of Victory, a game done so badly that you can't help but think, did they even playtest this? Sniper Art of Victory is the precursor to the Sniper Ghost Warrior series, which I enjoyed for the most part. The first was fun but flawed, the second was much more polished, and I'm only about 30 minutes into the third and need to pick it back up as it seemed interesting enough. But Art of Victory? I'll never go back to this one. So let's start at the top. You play as a Russian sniper, tasked with completing 8 missions to take down the Third Reich, or at least that's the plot according to Steam. Other than that, there's really nothing. You obviously get some generic objectives in the game, but otherwise, plot is pretty much non-existent. If it wasn't for the Steam description, I wouldn't know what's going on other than shooting bad guys. That's fine though. We don't necessarily need a strong story in a game featuring a badass sniper, right? You just kill people. But if only you felt badass. You carry 3 weapons at the start: a knife, your rifle, and a pistol. You can eventually pick up an enemy's assault rifle if you want, but there's no reason to, because it only gives you about a half dozen or less bullets for it. And no, you can't retrieve more by picking up other ammo from fallen enemies. Instead, you just pick up their MP40 and continue on. So there's no point to that. Plus, if you do get within range of being able to use either the pistol or that useless weapon you picked up from a sniped corpse, you may as well kiss your ass goodbye and get ready to load a previous save. The enemy soldier's AI is extremely broken. You can fire your sniper rifle as much as you want, and it's not suppressed in any way. They will almost never react to it, unless a soldier sees one of their allies die in front of them. Otherwise, they'll just ignore the echoing shot and go about their day. However, if they actually see you, they open up with some of the most accurate fire that I've ever seen in an FPS game. Other than the enemy snipers though, who seem to have gone through absolutely no training whatsoever, they miss quite a bit, which just boggles my mind. So how about your own sniping skills? Well, this is no expert sharpshooter, that's for sure. You get access to a wind gauge, your pulse, and distance. On an easier recruit setting, there's also the shot preview circle, which is pretty much a necessity if you want to survive. Wind is horribly uneven, switching from one direction to the other in a heartbeat. If you hold your breath for longer than maybe 5 seconds, the barrel of the rifle will swerve uncontrollably, and you'll have to wait a good 10 or so seconds to recover. So yeah, that little shot preview idea is a great function. If only it worked. Many times I felt that I followed that to a T, and it still told me I missed my shot. Lying sack of circular crap. It also doesn't help that your rifles aren't exactly accurate either. Just like the other sniper games, you can hold your breath for time to slow down and allow yourself to focus on the shot. But there were times where I fired with the crosshair directly on my enemy, and the shot went wide. No reason why. I wasn't sprinting first, I was laying down prone. There were even times I was point blank shooting the enemy, sighted in, and still missed with the crosshair on the chest. As for your pistol, don't bother. You can't use the pistol sights, and hip firing with it will almost never hit the enemy, regardless on how close you are. So just get prone, reload, and fire again as quickly as possible. So now that we're done with the shooting mechanics being all foobarred, I'm going to talk about something else you probably won't be expecting. The movement. The more you play the game, the more you'll notice that it truly feels like you're running around on a sheet of slick ice. The first time I noticed it, I went prone and thought that I was just diving on the ground and sliding around due to the momentum, which was originally a pretty cool idea. But then I realized that nope, it's just because it feels like you're on ice and cannot come to a complete stop easily. It's not just when going prone either. It just happens when walking and running around normally. It's hard to show on this video, but you'll just have to take my word for it, or subject yourself to the torture that is playing this game. At least the torture doesn't last long. As I mentioned, there are only 8 missions, Each can last from about 10 to 20 minutes, and that's it. According to Steam, I finished the game in roughly 2.3 hours. I'd be a little upset if I would have paid full price for this. And that's if you can even complete the game legitimately. I had to use a console cheat to bypass the very end of Stage 5. Why is that? The AI pathfinding is practically non-existent. Just look at this. I think this truck was supposed to deliver a high-ranking officer that I would have to snipe. But it never happened, and I can only assume it's because the truck never got to the place it's supposed to be. Not to mention that the hostage they are escorting usually falls behind the troops covering him, and he often got ran over by the truck. Funny? Yes. Pathetic? Also yes. The voice acting doesn't fare any better. Many of the lines that your Russian sniper say feel forced, and come out as if the actor was bored reading them. On the other hand, you have this guy you save in Mission 7.
Oh, thank you. You saved her. I will go to my wife now.
You're going to go to your wife now? Do you keep your wife nearby or something? This scene has absolutely no context to it, and I didn't even realize I was saving someone until this happened. The ending is equally as fantastic. Well, in a sarcastic sense. Unlike the first Sniper Ghost Warrior game, you don't get to take a long shot against the big bad. You don't get to snipe anyone, really. You get to call in an airstrike to destroy the enemy base, and then the game just abruptly ends with a text crawl. Then back to menu. Blah. So how are the graphics? The game was released in 2008, the same year that gave us Fallout 3, Left 4 Dead, Crisis Warhead, Dead Space, Stalker Clear Sky, GTA 4, Mass Effect, and Far Cry 2. To say Sniper Art of Victory looks dated when compared to those games is being very nice. Textures have a very low res feel to them. There's only one resolution available, even though the option exists to change it, but may not have been programmed properly. Some areas are missing textures or have bad pop-in, especially noticeable in the final mission where you're on an island and the water has no texture whatsoever. There's also no blood, which makes the zoom-in long-range shots feel like a waste of time. You want to see that spray of blood when the bullet strikes, so by just seeing that splatter and the body fall, it just doesn't have that same impact. And that's Sniper Art of Victory. Don't play it. Seriously. If you're looking for a game where you play as a sniper, check out the Sniper Elite or Ghost Warrior series, or hell, even the Far Cry games. Those are fun when you're sniping camps. The mostly negative rating on Steam and 36 Metacritic score really aren't lying here. The game screams budget title right from the start. And that doesn't have to mean a game is bad, but in this case, it does. Check it out at your own discretion, but be prepared to groan a lot at the horrible elements that contribute to the overall lackluster feeling of the game. Final score? 2 out of 7. I was going to give it a 3, but the fact that I had to use a cheat to bypass a stage due to bad programming convinced me to drop it down a notch. This is Reaper. Happy fragging.